Are you worried about losing your Medicaid benefits just because you're unsure how to renew your coverage online in Alabama? Well, welcome to the Explainer. Stay tuned because today we're going to break down the entire process step by step so you can keep those benefits active without any of the headache. Look, navigating healthcare administration can feel totally overwhelming, right? But it really doesn't have to be. The truth is, maintaining your coverage is wonderfully simple when you know the precise steps to follow. And that's exactly what we're going to give you today. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with an introduction to Medicaid renewal, go over the prerequisites for online renewal, walk through a step-by-step guide, check out post-submission timelines, look at additional resources and support, and wrap things up with some practical advice. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Introduction to Medicaid Renewal and Understanding Annual Redetermination. So why do we have to do this? Well, federal regulations actually require Alabama to evaluate your Medicaid eligibility once every 12 months. Your renewal month is set when you're first approved, and it stays the exact same calendar month every single year. But hey, the state actually tries to save you some paperwork. They attempt an automatic, or what's called an ex parte, check first by querying federal and state databases. If they can confirm your income that way, you're done. But if that check fails, you're going to receive a manual renewal form in the mail. And let me be clear, filling out that form is absolutely mandatory if you want to avoid losing your coverage. Moving right along to Section 2, Prerequisites for Online Renewal and Gathering Your Information. Okay, before you even jump online, you absolutely need to know which digital portal applies to you. Alabama uses a bifurcated or two-path system. If you're looking at families, pregnant women, and children, you're going to use the CARES portal via Insure Alabama. On the flip side, if you're elderly, blind, disabled, or in long-term care, you've got to use the My Medicaid recipient portal. It's super important to get this right because choosing the wrong portal will definitely delay your application. You know, missing documents are actually the #1 reason applications get delayed or denied. So get your paperwork ready before you even sit down at the computer. Now, Alabama recently modernized its system, moving away from those old legacy 500 ID numbers. So you're now going to need your updated 530 Medicaid ID format to establish your secure user profile online. You'll also need a photo ID, proof of citizenship, and recent income verification, like 30 days of pay stubs or your tax returns. Now, if you're using the My Medicaid portal for the elderly or disabled, you also have to prove your countable resources are below state limits. That means you need to gather current bank statements, real estate deeds, and life insurance policies that show a cash surrender value. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Section 3, Step-by-Step Renewal Guide and Navigating the Portals. Now that we've got our documents all gathered up, let's submit an application on the CARES portal. First things first, create your account and pass the automated identity proofing. Next, you'll link your profile to your active case using that new 530 Medicaid ID we just talked about. Look for the active renewal notification right there on your dashboard, review the pre-populated form, and update any income changes. Finally, just upload those pay stubs, sign electronically, and hit submit. Easy, right? Now, for the elderly, disabled, and long-term care residents using the My Medicaid portal, the process involves some stricter financial reporting. First, you log in and verify your personal site key picture. Next, because this category has asset caps, you have to update and verify all of your resource balances. That includes bank accounts and retirement plans. The third and literally absolutely mandatory step is signing the Asset Verification System, or AVS, authorization. This legally allows the state to check with financial institutions to cross-reference your assets. Finally, upload your supporting documents, including a qualified income trust if your income requires one, sign it electronically, and submit. Security is a huge deal here, as it should be with your health information. On My Medicaid, always verify your personalized site key picture before typing your password. If you see a picture you didn't personally choose, stop right there. The site might be fraudulent. Alabama is also rolling out multi-factor authentication, so be ready to use an authenticator app on your smartphone to scan a QR code and enter a rotating 6-digit PIN just to get in. Let's move on to Section 4. Post-submission timelines, deadlines, and grace periods. Once your form is submitted, or, if you happen to miss a deadline, understanding these timelines can literally save your coverage. You have exactly 30 calendar days from the mailing date printed on your form to return it. If you miss that window, your coverage ends. But wait, here is your massive safety net, a 90-day reconsideration grace period. If your case is closed out just for missing paperwork, do not start over with a new application. Instead, submit the late renewal within that 90-day window, and if you're eligible, your coverage is retroactively reinstated without any gap. Talk about a lifesaver. We also have some fantastic news about continuous eligibility protections. Rest assured that children under 19 who are enrolled in Medicaid or all kids are guaranteed 12 full months of continuous coverage. Similarly, pregnant women get 12 months of continuous postpartum coverage. What this means in plain English is that even if your household sees a sudden mid-year spike in income, these specific groups are completely shielded and will not lose their coverage before their annual renewal date. Next up is Section 5, Additional Resources and Support and Troubleshooting Issues. We all know technology isn't perfect. A super common roadblock is having an inactive email address, which totally locks you out of password resets. If this happens to you, you need to email webwork@medicaid.alabama.gov. And pay attention here, you must use the exact subject line, My Medicaid Email Address Change. In that email, include your full name, date of birth, current address, your old and new email addresses, and your Medicaid or Social Security number. They'll manually update things on their end and email you a temporary password to get you back in. You can also pick up the phone and call the statewide toll-free call center at 1-800-362-1504 for general inquiries or if you need to speak to an actual caseworker. If you're pulling your hair out over that new multi-factor authentication app and get completely locked out, there's actually a dedicated EMC help desk specifically for MFA issues at 1-800-456-1242. And finally, if your coverage is ever denied or ended and you disagree with that decision, just remember you have a federal right to a fair hearing. But keep in mind you have a strict 90-day window to request that appeal. And finally, Section 6, Closing and Practical Advice and Best Practices for the Future. To wrap things up, let's go over 3 simple ways to avoid future procedural closures. First up, never ignore your Medicaid mail. Open it immediately. Second, never just assume the automatic renewal is going to handle everything for you. And third, always update your address with Medicaid directly. This is a big one. A change of address with the post office or with Social Security does not automatically update with Alabama Medicaid. You can easily update it right inside your online portal or by calling the call center. Before we go, please remember that this explainer is for informational purposes only and is not an official endorsement or advice from the Alabama Medicaid Agency. The rules can be highly specific to your own individual situation. So for any specific concerns or specialized guidance, please reach out and contact the Alabama Medicaid office directly. So I'm going to leave you with this thought. Healthcare is a right, but maintaining it is a responsibility. Are you really going to let a single missed piece of mail or a forgotten password stand between you and your health coverage? By getting your documents ready early and knowing your digital portal, you are taking absolute control of your healthcare journey. If you found this step-by-step breakdown helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this explainer so others can confidently navigate their own renewals too. Thanks so much for learning with us today.